Hi guys, so tonight we're going to tie it's a salmon fly but a steelhead fly as well. This is a fly by INGI Augustsson. I probably pronounced that incorrectly, but it's called the motion prawn, and I quite like the look of it. It's like a modern take on a general practitioner. So let's give it a go. So this is a single hook obviously, and I've already put on a cone. So you can use a brass cone, you can use a tungsten cone, whatever suits yourself weight wise. And this is actually going to form part of the middle of the fly. So we're going to take an orange thread, because we're tying an orange fly here, and attach that down near the hook point. And then we're going to put on like a long tag or butt of mirage tinsel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a little bit of clear varnish onto the bend of the hook, and then I like to turn that towards myself just for handiness. It helps me avoid the hook on the far side, or the point of the hook on the far side. Wrap backwards, and then come back up on itself. So don't worry about how neat this is, because we're going to tie back over that. So once that's on, for a bit of extra security, you can varnish that again if you feel like it. I'll just give that a dab. Now we're going to put in a support, a bit of flash and a bit of support to the tail. So what I'm going to do, I have about 3 strands here of crystal flash, and I'm going to double them over and then cut the loop that's formed. So now we have about 6 strands. And what we'll do is we'll tie that in across its middle and then fold it back on itself and then tie back. Now what I'm trying to do here is stay sort of on the horizontal portion of the hook. So once I have this bunch here sticking out the back, then I'm going to cut that off so that it's a little bit behind the bend of the hook, and that'll give us a flash, I suppose, like the feelers of the prawn in a way. So what's unusual about these flies is that they use craft fur instead of like most of us would be using some sort of natural fur as the tail. So I've got a bunch here of an orange craft fur, and that's going to make our tail. So I'm just going to set that up on top of the hook shank there and bind that down. So as you can see, this is giving us a nice long sort of prawny feelery type. Okay, so I'm going to bar that. So I'm going to take a black permanent marker here, hold the tail tight and slide back as you go. You can see that puts a barred effect into our tail. So now we're going to build the body. Now the body's sort of built in sections. So what I'm going to use here is this is an Orange Hen's Spectra dubbing, although you can use whatever dubbing you feel like. So something like Glister or something would also do it. So we'll create a little body section there of that, and then what we'll do is to put in hackles and golden pheasant tippets here. So, and these will create that sort of GP type effect. So I'm going to use a badger, an orange badger hackle for this, because I think it'll add an extra effect into it. So we'll take our feather. I'm going to double it. So I hold the tips of fold it like that. Now I have a video in my techniques section if you want to look for that on how to double, and that'll explain that in more depth, but for the purposes of this video I'm just going to double them myself as we go along. So we'll tie that in by its tip and then fold it. Now as you can see, I get my fingers in the way a lot as I wrap hackles, and what I'm doing here is I'm orientating the stalk as I go to control how the hackle lies, because a lot of people just wrap on a hackle and pay no attention whatsoever to the shape of the stalk, so therefore that's why your hackle will have fibres sticking out all over the place. So you just need to think about that as you're wrapping them on. Rotate them, fold the fibres in with your fingers as you go, and it'll result in a much neater end result. So if we take one of our golden pheasant tippets, and I'm just going to strip off a lot of the sort of unbarred rubbishy bits there, and then I'm going to set that up on top. Now you can moisten that if you want to aid the tying in of it. I'm going to set it up with its ratchets or stalk directly on top, and tie that down. So then we'll advance forward the tie-in of this, and then we'll repeat this process. So we take our dubbing again, tie back up to this hackle, and then proceed forward, and another hackle. So the number of body segments is sort of going to be determined by the size, I guess, of the fly that you're tying. So yet again, stroke our fibres, allowing them to run between your finger and thumb will also guide them as you go, and then I'm twisting the stalk as it goes over. And now we're tying in on bare stalk over here. So again, tie that forward, turn that off, take another golden pheasant. Now this is up to yourself how fussy you want to be, but what I'm going to do is try and match up the bars. So I'm going to try and lay this on at the length where these black bars meet the middle black bar of that one, hold all on top, and tie it in. Now obviously it wants to splay itself out, but once that gets wet, it'll all slick back into position. So now we're going to take another body section, but this one will be slightly different in that I'm creating a bump to take the cone. So at this point I'm going to finish off, nick that off, and then we will take our super glue, just allow super glue to soak into the front section of this body section, and then I'm going to push that back. So the cone will now stick in place there, and it'll create, now I've chosen to go with an orange cone here to try and fit the colour scheme that we're going with, but you could use something that totally contrasts if you want. I will add on our tying thread again, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a very small amount of our dubbing in front of this, and my thinking of that is just to cushion the materials that we're about to attach, the natural materials in front of it. So another hackle. Again, doubled over. Tip gone. And then another golden pheasant. Again, matching the bar. And the last body section. Okay, so repeat the process again. Double the hackle. So, final part of the fillet. So what we're going to do here is take another of our tippets. That one wasn't straight. Go for a slightly bigger one here. We'll set that on till the bars meet. Tie that in on top. Lift up the cut ends and trim it. And to finish this fillet, what we're going to do then is take a golden pheasant breast feather. You can even put two on if you want. Now this one I've dyed an orange colour. And we're going to put that on over the top so that it extends the full length of the body. So I'm just going to put the stalk on the top, hold it in place. Now see the back that we have created with this, so if you want you can double that up as we said. Trim that, and now we get a bit of flash to finish the thing. So what we're going to use here is a Mirage crinkle. So I'm just going to put on a couple of strands on this side, and then I'm going to double them over to the far side of the fillet, hold them back and tie them in there. Take all this back till I see what length they are, and then I'll trim these two off to be the same length as the two that are on this side. And that is the fillet tied, so we're just going to finish the head up here. So I'm just going to super glue maybe about 10 centimeters or so, 4 inches of tie-in thread, and then we start at the front part of where we want our head to be, and then we work back. And there's the super glue, or you can use varnish for this purpose as well. It creates a bleb then of the glue, so that each consecutive turn goes into that and gets welded to the one underneath, so it makes for a very secure type of head. Finish that off. So once that super glue sets there, then I will varnish that. So I'm going to use a clear varnish, although you could use coloured ones, whatever you want. And that is the tying of the fly done. So that is John INGI AGUSTSSONS motion prawn in an orange colour. A modern take on a general practitioner. I think I really like the look of that one. There'll be plenty of motion and plenty of movement because of this craft fur here in the rear. So if you like what you've seen, like and subscribe, tell your friends, check out the other videos that I've got online. There's 400 or 500 of them now. And until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.